Hi, I'm Scott, and you have an amazing story, but I'm really sorry, you're going to have to introduce me to yourselves and just tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Okay, well, we're Team Old Enough to Row Better.
Okay.
We're all over 50, and we're going to row the Atlantic next year. And it's 3,000 miles from La Gomera to Antigua, and we're hoping to do it in 44 days.
You're going to row the Atlantic?
And break a few records.
Right,
hopefully.
In the meantime.
Right, okay. It actually doesn't really sound very feasible because, I mean, I know nothing about rowing. You must be so committed. Like, how does this work?
So we train together regularly.
Is that in Congleton?
Well, we're training in Rudyard Lake at the moment, on Trentham and off Anglesey in Holyhead.
Ah, okay. So you're actually going out to Holyhead and actually kind of getting some time, like, in the ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
How many hours?
Lots of hours. Most of us are sea rowers. We're coastal rowers. Some of us are inland rowers, yet to be introduced to the sea. But
That's in May. We're going out in May.
we're going out.
I'm just noticing your accent.
Yes.
I don't think you sound like you're from Cheshire or Congleton.
No, I'm not. I'm
Where are you
from
from?
Colorado, the USA.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So how did this work? What brought you together then?
So I read a book that Roz Savage wrote because she rode across the Atlantic years ago, and it just motivated me. I was like, I really want to do this. And so I told my wife, and she got on board with it. And I talked to the race coordinator, and she told me of a website where people go to look for teammates.
Okay.
And so I went to the website, and Gail had posted that they needed somebody.
So
And
Gail already had a team.
She already had a team.
team of one
She's
or a
the
team
one
of a
that
few?
started it. Yeah.
We had a team of 5
Okay.
when he responded to the advert, and I asked if it would be okay if Kevin became a reserve for the team, because
Right.
with a team of 5 there's always somebody
Okay.
that life happens, someone drops out.
Yeah.
And sadly 2 weeks later one of our team had to work in Inverness, so he's finding it difficult to commit to the training.
It's a lot of travel just to get from Inverness down to Holyhead or Rudyard Lake.
Absolutely,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a lot of travel to get from Colorado, but I'm guessing that you're
Yeah.
based in
A
Congleton
little bit.
now.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Actually,
Oh, right,
I fly back to Colorado tomorrow morning, so I come out every couple months.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so we have
It's a
we
big
have,
round trip.
We have the 5 days of training up in Holyhead at the end of May.
Okay.
So I'll come for that.
Is that because the weather's better, or how?
No, it's just when we could arrange it.
And because it's
Yeah.
on the sea.
Yeah,
Sure.
we have to get on the ocean. So we're required to do 120 hours, minimum 120 hours of training as a team on the ocean.
Together.
Yep, together, and 24 hours of that minimum has to be at nighttime. So we're going to go to Holyhead and get the ocean training started so we can start logging it in.
I can imagine that's quite dangerous. I mean, the kind of things that I've done at night, it always feels way more dangerous. I mean, I like cycling and things like that, but it's nothing like being on the
Yeah,
water.
you can't really see what's going to happen.
really
so
can't,
yeah,
no.
my wife and I lived on a boat for 5 years. And
Okay.
when things happened, it was always at night.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So you have to be mentally prepared as well as.
Well,
know
and that's, I mean,
protocols and
there are tons of safety protocols that we have to abide by, and one of them is anytime you're outside, so there are 2 cabins, one on each end of the boat, and anytime you come out of a cabin, you have to be hooked into the boat by a lanyard. And so all of us, if we're out in the open, will be connected to the boat. And these boats are made for ocean crossings.
Right.
So if it rolls, just
are-
hold on.
And are all of your team made for ocean crossings? Because that is an enormous ocean.
It's big, yeah.
It's
How,
big.
how long is it going to take to actually?
So it's
get
3,000
across?
miles. It will take roughly 44 days, depending on the weather.
Okay.
So there's 5 people living in a space that's 9.5 metres long and just over a metre wide for 44 days.
For a minimum of 44
A
days.
minimum of 44 days.
Okay.
We have a cabin at each end of the boat, like Kevin said.
Like guys and girls. Huh?
Guys and
Pretty
girls,
much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But there should always be 3 people on the oars, unless the weather is really, really bad. There should always be 3 people on the oars, and we will have a rota. So we will be rowing 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 24/7. So we should have 2 people resting.
That is some serious determination. What possibly put you up to this?
It's my fault.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're a keen walker,
Right.
then I guess Everest is your something that you aspire to do.
It's a bit of a
Pinnacle.
Yeah.
For a rower, this is our Everest. The
This is
Atlantic
it.
Challenge is
Okay.
our Everest. Now, it is a race.
Yeah.
There will be other boats in the race, but we won't actually see them. We're very unlikely to see them. So once everybody sets off, they kind of spread out
Yes.
quite quickly. At one point, we'll be closer to the space station than we will be to any other point on land.
Okay.
We won't have a support boat.
Nope.
We are totally unsupported.
Right.
We will be.
Starlink.
We will have
Starlink will be
Starlink.
above you.
We will have Starlink. We will be in contact every day.
Is that via satellite phones, I presume, or?
It will most likely be by Starlink.
Okay, got it.
So just normal
Fa-
messages.
normal fancy internet. Brilliant.
We will have 1 phone call a day from the safety officer.
Yeah.
If we have any problems, there is a team doctor based on land
That we can talk
that we
to.
can talk to.
Got it. Okay. I think I might have just missed a step here. You've gone from walking to an enormous level of commitment to be able to row across the ocean. How did you actually start? Where's the genesis of this?
Well, I've done a lot of coastal competitions,
Okay.
endurance competitions,
Okay.
and through that community, you meet other people that have already done this, and you start to follow people online, and it's.
And how did you
something-
actually get into rowing?
I lived in Conwy in Wales, and that's when I started rowing. I started coastal rowing in Conwy. I was a member of 2 clubs. I was a member of Deganwy and also Beaumaris, and now we're all members of Holyhead
Got it.
coastal rowers.
So you had time on your hands, and you were like, "I'm going to fill this time by going out rowing all the time."
So yeah, I'd row sometimes 2 times a day,
Right.
most days of the week. Yeah, and it was just something that I figured that I was quite good at, actually.
Absolutely. That sounds absolutely fantastic.
One of the things
Wow.
we're trying to do as well is most of all the team are over 50. When Kevin rows with us, Kevin will be 67 when we set off.
Good for you.
I'm the old guy.
Sure. Yeah, why not? I mean,
I'll be 57
okay.
when we row. And our message is, our little strap line is rowing back the years. So we want to promote health and challenges, setting new challenges.
Rowing back the years.
When you're later on in life, there's no reason to put your feet up after 50. If you want a new challenge, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, you can set yourself a new challenge. It doesn't have to be rowing across the Atlantic. It could be something a lot smaller, like, I don't know, walking up Mow Cop. But
This is incredibly ambitious. Very, very inspiring. And happening in Congleton.
we're also raising money for charity as well.
Oh, right, okay. How
So-
much do you need?
Well, our messages help us to help them. So we need £50,000 to get to the start line.
Is that in total, or is that how much you're missing?
That's how much we're missing to
Okay,
get to
all
the
right.
start line.
So everybody knows you're £50,000 short. So whatever you can do to help them row back the years, the minimum figure is £50,000.
Well done, folks.
And
See
we
y'all.
have our socials, so you will find ways to donate. We've got a GoFundMe page. You'll find links to that on our Facebook, Instagram. We have a TikTok page. We've got a website.
What's the main place that people can find you?
At our website or on Facebook, Old Enough to Row Better. All you have to do is type that name.
Old Enough to Row Better.
To row better, not know better, row
Row
better.
better.
And is that oldenoughtorobetter.com or .co.uk or?
.co.uk,
Okay.
yeah.
Oldenoughtorobetter.co.uk.
Yeah.
So if you type it into Google, the site comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first one.
That's easy.
Yeah.
So we need 50k to get to the start line. And once we've got that 50k, any other donations we get will go to our charities. Kevin has a charity.
I do. My charity is Warrior Expeditions. They sponsor people who've been in combat to do long distance stuff like this, although they don't sponsor this race. But after I got out of the military, because I was in the military for a number of years, after I got out of the military, they sponsored me and I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail in the United States. So
Beautiful.
It's Mexico to Canada hike. So I like long distance stuff, and that's how I got into this. Although
Once
I'm
you
not a
start
rower.
endurance lifestyle, you look for more endurance lifestyle
Yeah,
things
more
to do.
challenges. Yeah.
So where can people find your sponsor?
If they type in Warrior Expeditions again in Google,
Warrior
they'll-
Expeditions.
correct, it'll come up.
Okay.
It should be one of the first links.
Okay.
And,
And have you got a target that you're looking to have
it's
people
just
help you
it's
with?
all part of that.
So you're
Anything
gonna-
over that,
okay.
it'll split
You're
between.
going to combine that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really great.
My charity is East Cheshire Hospice. They've done a lot for my family.
Okay.
I'm sure people in this area are familiar with East
I
Cheshire
think everybody
Hospice.
knows East Cheshire Hospice. So
Yeah.
if you want an alternative way to donate to East Cheshire Hospice, this would be a great way to direct your money to that.
And also another member of the team, his charity is Men Unite, which is a men's mental health charity. He's lost a lot of family members and friends to mental health issues, to suicide. So that's a charity close to his heart.
Yeah, very good.
So we hope to raise at least £50,000 to split between our charities as well, on top of the 50 grand that we
Right,
need to
got
get
it,
to the
okay.
start line. Yeah.
So you've got a great target. It's 100 grand. You're incredibly committed. So
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure that people are going to rally to that cause. Absolutely. There's so many questions.
You could go for an hour or
you
two.
can have a crack at that for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, we can keep going.
There's a
so
lot to
much
it.
information to talk about.
Are you able to get any other bits and pieces of footage over to Andy for him to cut that in?
Loads. Yeah, loads.
Brilliant.
She is
Ideal.
Miss Media right here.
Sure, got it. Ideal. Yeah. I really hope you smash it. That's so good.
And then once we do the race, we'll be posting on a fairly regular basis, right?
Yeah. So we actually hand over our socials to somebody else that's not on the boat.
Okay.
All our photographs, videos that we take have to be checked by the World Toughest Road team
Yeah.
to make sure that it's...
We don't do anything we're not supposed to, like not tethered in while we're video.
Sure.
That
You've
Dave
got to,
did
like,
not.
have
You're not
all of these
supposed to.
no-nos and-
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And then one of our team's daughters is good at social media, so she's going to edit everything together for us. Because
Oh,
we
okay.
have too much to do to worry about editing on the boat.
Do you actually have a really good idea of how you get corporate sponsorship?
They give you a media package.
Okay.
Well, we're
I mean,
kind
that
of...
helps.
So, yeah, it helps. It doesn't work.
So, I'm not in a position to be able to help. I mean, obviously, I can kind of like mention it because I know a couple of these big tech companies. I can mention that these things are happening. The problem is that, like, they never say yes or no.
Yeah.
But you need somebody that has got the kind of things that are going on, and then you need to sow that seed of like, we need corporate sponsorship. We've got to get those 20 grands in. We only need 5 corporate sponsors. That kind of conversation.
So our boat is basically a floating billboard. So we would put... our boat already has sponsors on from the previous owners that we need to de-sticker the boat
Got it.
before we go out to Holyhead to do
Yeah.
our next lot of training.
Yeah.
So we have over an audience over 3.5 million people through World's Toughest Row, through social media, through news, through things like that.
In that case, then I would actually use that as a
Right,
big old
pitch.
lever,
Yeah.
and just say, we're never going to be able to raise this just by getting it from individuals.
No.
But if you go to places like
We have sponsorship packages on the website. It's very clear what sponsorship packages are, and even the most visible part of the boat is actually the oars.
Okay.
They're always in shop.
Yeah.
So an oar, if you want your name on an oar, that's £5 grand.
It's a really good, it's a really good kind of way to kind of promote somebody's idea, business, social media, whatever it is that they have.
Especially
in mind.
if they have anything to do with the outdoors.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Endurance.
Yeah.
You know, kind of warrior fitness.
Yeah.
You know, those
exactly.
guys get not nearly enough coverage. I don't know whether you know how about Help for Heroes. I really wish you.
Yeah, it's just
very good.
finding the right
well,
people.
thank you for interviewing us,
Yeah,
Scott.
amazing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, thanks.
Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. I'm really happy to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
pleasure
you.
to meet you as
Yeah,
well.
thank
Thanks.
You. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott.